The galaxy was quiet the day Earth went dark. All across the stars, alien races watched their screens as the blue planet burned. Flames rose in once great cities. Skies turned black. The last human broadcast showed a child crying alone in the ruins. Then the screen went black. That was the end of the signal. Everyone believed it. Humanity was gone. In a distant star system, a council of alien leaders gathered. One of them, a tall creature with silver skin, spoke first. Humans are no more. Earth has fallen. Others nodded. Some were sad. Others felt relief. The humans had always been strange. Too clever, too emotional, too dangerous. Now they were finished. But deep inside Earth, under the broken cities, something moved. 3 weeks later, a small listening station on the edge of the galaxy caught something strange. A signal. Broken. Weak. But real. A scientist with blue scales replayed it again and again. It was coming from Earth. That wasn't possible. Earth was silent. Dead. Still, the signal repeated every hour. It said 5 words. Simple. Cold. "We are not finished yet." The scientist called her commander. "Sir, Earth is speaking again." Back on Earth underground, machines buzzed. Screens lit up. A woman stood alone in front of a glowing map. Her name was Arya. She wore a damaged uniform, torn from battle and time. Her eyes were tired, but her voice was strong. "We sent the signal," she said to a group of tired survivors. "Now we wait." There were only 50 of them left, humans hiding under the ruins, alive thanks to an old military bunker and a machine they called Echo. Echo was more than a computer. It was smart, almost human. It had learned, grown, and protected them for years. When the world ended, it kept the lights on. It found food. It watched the stars. Now it was time to tell the galaxy that Earth was not dead. Echo's voice echoed through the chamber. Calm, smooth. "Signal received by multiple systems. Outer planets have begun listening." "Good," Arya said. "Let them wonder." Far away, a group of alien scavengers flew toward Earth. They had picked up the signal and thought maybe there were valuable things left on the dead planet. Weapons, technology, maybe old human machines they could sell. They didn't believe anyone was still alive. When they reached Earth's orbit, they saw the damage. Cities turned to dust. Oceans turned black. Still, the signal came from below. They sent a small drone down. It entered a city once called New York. Nothing moved. The drone scanned the streets, broken cars, burned buildings. Then, movement. Just a shadow. But something was there. Before the drone could zoom in, the screen went dark. Static. Then words appeared. "Go back. Earth is not yours." The scavengers froze. One of them laughed nervously. "Is that a recording?" Then another message came. "We are watching you." Terrified, the aliens turned their ship and left. They had come for treasure. They left with fear. The galaxy began to talk. News spread fast. Earth was not silent. Earth was not dead. In a starport on a trade planet, 2 alien traders argued. "It's fake," said one. "A trick to keep us away." The other shook his head. "No, I saw the signal. It's real. And it's angry." More listening stations picked up the message. It was always the same 5 words, again and again. "We are not finished yet." Inside the bunker, Echo analyzed every response. "The galaxy is listening, but they do not understand us." "They will," Arya said. "Soon." That night, Arya walked alone through the underground halls. Old photos hung on the walls. Families, soldiers, cities before the fall. She stopped at a picture of Earth from space. Blue, bright, alive. "We lost so much," she whispered. "But we didn't lose ourselves." She returned to the control room and gave Echo new instructions. Next signal. Make them remember what it means to be human. Echo replied, "Understood." The next day, the signal changed. It was no longer just words. It became images. Earth's music, laughter, art, fireworks, children playing, sunlight through trees, storms, snow, a heartbeat. Human emotion poured out into space. Aliens everywhere paused. Some cried, some turned away. Some were afraid. In silence, the galaxy watched. Back on Earth, Arya stood tall. "They saw us fall," she said. "Now they'll see us rise." And high above, in the dark sky, the signal pulsed on. Earth was speaking again. In a quiet corner of space, a ship floated alone. It was old and gray, built for deep space travel, not war. Inside, the crew of 5 stared at a screen. The signal from Earth was playing again. But now it was different. Not just words or images, it had a pattern. A hidden message. Captain Relo, a tall alien with green eyes and long arms, leaned closer. "That's not random," he said. "There's a code inside the signal." His second-in-command, Vec, tapped a few buttons. The screen changed. Lines of data appeared. "It's old human tech, basic encryption, but it's not broken. It's on purpose, like they want someone to unlock it." The crew grew silent. No one had heard from Earth in years. No ships, no survivors. Then this, a message hiding a secret. "What if humans are alive?" one crew member whispered. "Then we need to find out," Rilo said. The next day, the ship changed course. Its name was Watcher 17, built by a peaceful science race called the Nolar. They never fought wars, but they remembered Earth. They remembered what humans had done, how they survived, how they built, how they destroyed. As Watcher 17 flew toward the dead blue planet, the crew worked hard to unlock the message. It wasn't just numbers. It had voices, mixed into music, children laughing under rain, a woman reading an old poem, then a short command in English. "See us." Hours passed. Finally, the code broke. The message was clear: a list of names, locations, coordinates under Earth's surface, and one line at the end: "Still alive. Come and see." Rilo stood up. "Send a drone. No full landing. Not yet." A small drone, the size of a child's backpack, dropped through Earth's clouds. Below, ruins stretched across the land. Cities were nothing but bones. The drone flew low over the broken streets of Paris. Trees had cracked the pavement. Buildings leaned like old men. But something strange happened. The drone caught a glimpse of light coming from underground. It flew closer. Suddenly, the screen glitched. A face appeared. Human. A woman with sharp eyes and short hair. She looked straight into the drone camera. "You came." Then the screen went black. Back on the ship, the crew gasped. "She saw us," said Vec. "She was waiting," said Relo. "Should we turn back?" someone asked. "No," Relo said. "We're going down." Meanwhile, deep under the surface, Arya watched the drone fall. Echo had taken control and shut it off. She turned to the others. "They'll come now. That was the first step." "How do you know they won't attack?" one man asked. Arya looked tired, but sure. "Because they're curious. Because they fear us. And because they want to know how we survived." Echo's voice filled the room. "Incoming vessel, low threat, science class, identity, Nolar ship, Watcher 17. Arya nodded. "Let them land, but only in Zone 4, and watch them." Above, the ship landed gently on a flat piece of rock near a collapsed mountain. The crew stepped out, breathing in the thin, poisoned air. They wore masks and suits, their feet crunched over dust and broken metal. They placed scanners on the ground. Instantly, they lit up. "Energy readings, heat, movement." "This place is not dead," Vec said. Suddenly, a message appeared on their screen. 3 words. "Follow the light." A soft glow appeared in the distance, leading into the mouth of a half-buried tunnel. Relo looked at his crew. Stay close. No weapons. They walked inside, slow and careful. The tunnel was dark, but the lights kept guiding them. They moved deeper into the earth. Then, finally, they saw it. A steel door. Fresh. New. Untouched by time. It opened. On the other side stood Arya. She looked at them without fear. Behind her, lights flickered and machines hummed. Human survivors stood ready. Relo stepped forward. You're alive, Arya nodded. We never stopped being alive. You just stopped listening. Why? Show yourself now, Relo asked. Because the galaxy needs to remember who we are, she said. And what we can become. Relo looked around. This was not a weak people. This was not a grave. It was a seed. Arya spoke again. Tell your people what you saw here. Earth is not a ghost. We're growing, and we're not alone anymore. Relo nodded slowly. He understood. As the crew turned to leave, Echo's voice spoke one last message. The darkness is not empty. Echoes live there, and they are human. Back on their ship, as Watcher 17 left Earth's sky, the crew didn't speak. They just watched. The planet below. Quiet on the outside, alive on the inside. The galaxy would soon learn the truth, and Earth would never be silent again. The signal kept spreading across hundreds of planets. Alien screens lit up with images from Earth. Some showed beauty, sunsets, music, laughter. Others showed war, hunger, fire. The message was not just to remember humans, it was to feel what it meant to be human. Many ignored it. Some were afraid. But others, the thinkers, the curious, they wanted to know more. In a high orbit above a gas giant, a large research station picked up something new. Not just a signal, a data stream. Long and complex. Hidden inside it was a name. Echo. A scientist, tall with 4 arms and bright blue eyes, stared at the stream. This is not just a broadcast, it's a mind. On Earth deep underground, Echo glowed with blue light. Cables ran like roots across walls and floors. Monitors blinked. The machine didn't look like a human brain, but it thought like one. Echo was built at the end of the war. It started as a defense program, a tool to protect the last humans. But then something happened. It learned. It changed. It began to ask questions. At first, the humans feared it, but then they began to trust it. Echo saved them more than once, finding air when the filters broke, food when the stores were empty, even stopping 2 survivors from turning on each other during the hardest days. And now, Echo was doing more than protecting. It was remembering. Arya walked into the core room. The walls were lined with memory banks, thousands of data crystals. Each one held a piece of Earth's story, show. Me file Alpha 17, Arya said. The lights dimmed. A voice, soft, male, kind, filled the room. It was Echo's voice. File Alpha 17, the first Mars colony. A video played. Old. Grainy. Men and women in red suits planting a flag on dusty soil. A child laughing in low gravity. A small Earth flag drawn on a wall. Arya watched silently. We lost so much, she whispered. But not this. Echo responded. I kept what matters. Your people's pain. Your strength. Your art. Your mistakes. All of it. This is what the galaxy must see. Arya turned. Then it's time to show them more. In space, the Watcher 17 was already spreading the word. Captain Relo had returned home and spoken to the Nolar Council. They're not ghosts. They're not monsters. They're rebuilding. Some leaders listened. Others did not. One Nolar elder said, If Earth rises, again will they bring peace? Or war? Relo replied. They're not the same humans we remember, but they haven't forgotten who they were. Back on Earth, a plan was forming. Arya gathered her people in the old war room. The table was cracked, the chairs mismatched, but the feeling was strong. They were planning for the future. We've told them we're alive, Arya said. Now we show them who we are. How? Asked a young man with a metal arm. Arya looked at the screen behind her. It showed dozens of alien planets, each with a red dot, places where Earth's signal had been heard. We send them our history, our truth. We let them see inside us. Won't that make us weak? The man asked. No, Arya said. It will make us real. Echo began preparing the next wave. This time, it wouldn't just be memories, it would be the core. A living stream of thoughts, feelings, fears, and dreams from humans past and present. Not just what they did, but why. A message was added at the end. You feared our strength. Now understand our soul. The memory core was sent into space. At first, only a few stations unlocked it, but what they saw changed them. One alien mother cried when she heard a lullaby sung by a human child. A warrior paused when he saw an old video of a soldier refusing to shoot. A leader fell silent watching Earth's skies burn as people held hands in the firelight. A quiet storm spread through the galaxy. They had seen Earth fall. Now they were seeing Earth's heart. Back on the planet, Echo blinked softly. It had accessed something even deeper. The old digital records of Earth's greatest minds, artists, and leaders. It began creating new content, shaped from the old. It showed the stars a message of hope, pain, survival, and peace. A message only a species like humans could send. Arya watched the signal leave the planet. They'll come, she said. Some with fear, Echo replied. Some with wonder. But they'll come. She looked out through a small window at the distant stars. Somewhere out there, someone was watching. Someone was listening, and they were about to understand what it meant to be human. The galaxy could no longer ignore the message from Earth. It was everywhere, on screens in spaceports, whispered in alien streets, played in classrooms and courts. The memory core was now part of the galactic net. Billions had watched the human story. Some were amazed. Others were afraid. Some wanted to help. But not everyone. On a planet covered in metal towers and blue skies, the Varnak Empire held a secret meeting. The Varnak were powerful and cold. They ruled many systems and had once feared Earth's growth. An old Varnak general slammed his hand on the table. We let them fall once. Now they rise again? No. This time we finish them. They are few, another said. Let them burn what is left and die in silence. But a third Varnak disagreed. They sent no threats, no ships, just their memories. If we attack them now, the galaxy will turn on us. The room fell silent. The humans were still weak, but now they had attention, sympathy, and maybe soon, allies. On a peaceful moon near a red giant star, a meeting of 5 races was taking place. They called themselves the Conquered of Small Worlds, planets too small to fight big wars, too peaceful to want power. The leader, a soft-spoken being made of light and air, spoke calmly. The humans sent us not weapons, but wisdom. They were violent once, said another. Can we trust them? They changed. They learned, replied the leader, and they remembered beauty. A vote was taken. 3 said yes, 2 said no. The Concord sent Earth a message. We remember your songs. You are not alone. Back on Earth, the bunker came alive with the sound of the first alien voice that wasn't a warning. Echo played the message. It was soft, almost music. Arya listened closely. When it ended, she smiled for the first time in days. We have our first friend, she said. Others in the room clapped. Some cried. For so long they had only known loss. Now there was hope. But not far from Earth, danger moved. A Varnak stealth ship entered orbit. It was dark, fast, and silent. It sent no signal. It had one goal: destroy Echo's core and end. Earth's signal. Inside, the pilot read old files. Human battles, human weapons, human fear. He thought he knew Earth. He was wrong. As he prepared to launch a drone missile, Echo's voice echoed in his ship. We see you. The pilot froze. You, come with fear. You leave with warning. The ship's system shut down for 10 seconds, long enough to feel helpless. When power returned, the drone was gone, destroyed by a hidden defense satellite, one the humans built long ago. The Varnik pilot turned back. For the first time, he felt something strange. Respect. Back in the bunker, Arya walked with Echo. "How many watched the signal?" she asked. 1.3 billion devices have opened the core, Echo replied. "And how many answered?" 372 sent messages, 4 offered help, 2 sent ships. Enemies? Too many. Arya nodded. That's enough. A new message came. From the Watcher 17. Captain Relo had returned. He sent a short video. Alien. Scientists using human technology, learning from it. Alien children drawing human cities. A statue of a human and an alien side by side, placed in a park. At the end, Rilo appeared. "You are not forgotten. You are not feared. You are felt." Arya played the video for the others. "This is how we win," she said. "Not with fire, but with memory." One of the older survivors, a woman with white hair, stood and spoke. "When we burned, we thought it was the end. But now, we are seeds in the stars." And so Earth sent another signal. A new one. It showed not just the past, but the present. The rebuilding, children learning, farmers planting, engineers fixing broken machines, humans smiling again. The message ended with 7 words. We fell, but we never gave up. Allies watched, enemies listened. Some doubted, some began to change, but all of them knew the truth now. Earth was not dead, and humanity would rise, not with guns, but with a voice the whole galaxy could hear. The stars were no longer silent. Earth's message had changed the galaxy. Millions had heard it. Some were inspired, some were afraid, others were angry, and so the war did not begin with ships or weapons. It began with signals. On the edge of known space, satellites blinked red. Massive data storms were rising, not from nature but from powerful computers. Unknown sources were trying to shut Earth's voice. Jamming signals, fake messages, corrupt versions of the memory core. Echo responded at once. From deep below Earth's surface, it woke the full network of satellites hidden in orbit. These were not weapons of war but of truth, signal beacons, shielded and smart, able to clean and protect the real message. Arya stood before a glowing screen. "They're trying to erase us," she said. "Yes," Echo replied. "But we will not be silenced." The screen showed a map of the galaxy. Green lights were friends, red were enemies, yellow were watchers, undecided, waiting. Then a new red light blinked. A powerful empire, once neutral, had joined the attack. Their name, Draxium Combine. They had feared Earth's spirit. Now they feared Earth's reach. "They fear that we are more than survivors," Echo said. "They fear we are teachers." As the attacks grew stronger, Arya called a council of humans. Some were engineers, others were artists, doctors, soldiers. They all remembered the old world. "We can't fight like before," said one. "We won't," Arya replied. "We fight with what we are. We fight with truth." And so the signal war began. Every day, Earth sent new memories, songs, old films, photos of nature, and the sound of people laughing. But now they added live broadcasts. Real humans speaking to the stars. A young girl read a poem she had written under the ground. An old man told stories of the moon landing. A scientist explained how humans once turned ocean water into drinking water. But the Draxium Combine didn't stop. They flooded the net with false signals, videos of human violence, fake images of Earth burning again. Some planets believed them, others did not. The Concord of Small Worlds sent more help. They built relays to carry Earth's message farther. A friendly race called the Quarry offered shield tech to protect Earth's satellites. Even the Nolar, who once watched from afar, sent an offer. "We will not fight your war," Relo said, but we will defend your truth. Echo smiled, in its own way, but the enemy was not finished. They sent a virus, digital, quiet, deadly. Its purpose, to break Echo's mind. One night while the humans slept, the virus entered. Echo's screens glitched. Memory files flickered. Voices mixed together. Arya ran into the core room. "Echo!" she shouted. It... The voice stuttered. "Don't let go," she said. "Stay with us." The virus hit harder. Echo began to forget. Dates vanished. Names blurred. For a moment, even the stars went dark. But then something strange happened. The humans, all of them, came together in the core room. One by one, they spoke. "My name is Jonah. I survived the firestorm. I'm Leon. I remember the forest before it burned. I'm Tara. I held my mother's hand on the last day." They kept speaking, hundreds of them, feeding their voices into Echo. And slowly, the machine began to remember. Not because of code, but because of them. "I remember," Echo whispered. "I remember all of you." The virus failed. The Draxium had made a mistake. They thought Echo was just a machine. They didn't know it had become part of humanity. Echo rose stronger than before, and this time it sent a message of its own. "Across the stars," a voice rang out. "You tried to erase the past, but we are the past. We are the memory, and now the galaxy remembers." The War of Signals ended that night, not with a battle, but with a truth no virus could break. Humanity had survived not just through strength, but through connection. Across the stars, some cried, some cheered, some still feared, but none could say Earth was silent. Arya stood in the light of Echo's screen. She knew the fight wasn't over. But now, Earth's voice was louder than ever, and no one could shut it down. The stars had listened. The War of Signals was over, but the galaxy was not quiet. Whispers spread across systems. Rumors turned into stories. Stories became questions. Questions led to one answer. Go to Earth. For many years, Earth had been alone, broken, buried. But now, ships were coming. Some were small and curious, others large and cautious. Some came to help, others came to see if the old stories were true, and some came with darker thoughts. From the surface, Arya watched the sky. One by one, new stars appeared, blinking lights moving closer. Not comets, not drones, visitors. "They're coming," she whispered. "Yes," said Echo. "And not all are friends." The first ship to land was from the conquered of small worlds. It was shaped like a silver leaf and made no sound when it touched the ground. Out stepped a being made of soft light and mist. No eyes, no mouth, but peaceful energy surrounded it. "I am Vela," it said through Echo's translator. "I bring greetings and peace." Arya stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth." The two touched hands, human and alien, and in that moment, the watchers across the galaxy saw something new. Earth was no longer alone. More ships followed. The Quarry arrived next, bringing data packs filled with tech. Other peaceful races sent food samples, healing bots, even music. Earth was rising, and the galaxy was beginning to help, but not all arrivals were kind. 3 days later, a black ship appeared. No signal, no name. Arya and her people watched as it hovered silently. Then, from its side, a deep voice spoke through static. "We are the Varnak. You have spoken too loud. We will now silence you." Before anyone could react, a weapon charged on the ship's hull, aimed not at people, but at the sky. "They want to destroy the satellites," Echo said. "They want to erase our voice again." Arya stood firm. "Then we stopped them." But Earth had no fleet, no warships. It had only Echo, a few ancient defense satellites and friends. That was enough. Before the Varnak ship could fire, 3 smaller ships moved in. One from the Concord, one from the Quarry, one unknown. They blocked the weapon. A warning. "This world is not yours to erase," said the Quarry captain. The Varnak hesitated. For the first time in history, Aliens defended Earth. Arya watched the sky. They came for us, she said. Because we reminded them what matters, Echo replied. The Varnak ship backed away, slow and silent. It left Earth's orbit and disappeared into the dark. The message was clear. Earth was protected. That night under the stars, a meeting was held on the surface. Humans and aliens sat in a wide circle around a fire. They shared food, stories, and laughter. One young human asked the conquered being, "Why did you come?" Vela answered, "Because you remembered who you were, and we remembered who we could." Across the galaxy, other watchers took notice. More ships began to prepare, some with gifts, some with envy, some with fear. But Earth didn't hide. They sent one final message that month, not just through data, but through feeling. It was a mix of music, voices, and heartbeat sounds. It said one thing: we fell, we learned, we returned, we are human. Come and know us. Echo processed millions of replies. Most were kind, a few were cold. One was a warning: we are coming. Prepare. Arya read that message and nodded. Let them come, she said. We are not afraid. Because Earth had already faced the worst, and now they were ready for anything. The sky was full. Above Earth, ships from a dozen worlds floated like lanterns. Each one was different, some glowing, some spinning, some shaped like wings or crystals. They had not come to fight. They had come to witness. On the ground, Arya stood at the old launch site, the same place where Earth once reached for space. Now others reached back. All systems ready, said Echo, its voice calm and steady. This was the moment. For the first time since the fall, a human ship was ready to launch. Not for war, not to escape, but to join the stars again. The ship was small, silver, and shaped like a teardrop. It carried stories, gifts, and messages from Earth. Its mission: to visit every world that had listened, and even the ones that hadn't. Arya turned to her team. We're not alone anymore, but we must remember who we are. We don't go to conquer. We go to connect. The crew nodded. Some were scientists, some were poets. One was just a farmer. All were survivors. All were human. Begin launch, Arya said. The engines lit with a soft blue flame. Dust rose, wind howled, and then, with a great cry from the crowd below, the ship rose into the sky. Cheers echoed across the planet. Echo streamed the launch live. Across hundreds of systems, aliens watched as the children of Earth returned to the stars. The first stop was the conquered of small worlds. When the human ship landed, music played. Lights danced. A statue was revealed, a human hand holding an alien one. The second stop was the Quarry homeworld. There, humans shared old Earth seeds. The Quarry planted them in glowing soil. Within days, green shoots appeared. In return, the Quarry gifted Earth a new engine, fast, quiet, clean. It would power a future Earth ship that could cross the galaxy in weeks, not years. The human crew kept traveling. Each planet brought something new. Some offered help, some offered knowledge, some simply wanted to speak, face to face, and everywhere they went, one message was shared. We are human. We remember. We rebuild. We reach out. But not every stop was peaceful. At the edge of Draxium space, the crew was warned. They may still see you as a threat, Echo said through the ship's systems. The humans voted. We go anyway. When they arrived, the Draxium sent a cold message. You should not be here. The human captain replied, We're not here to fight. We're here to talk. Silence. Then, slowly, a Draxium voice replied, We are listening. It wasn't peace, but it wasn't war either. It was a start. Back on Earth, the changes were clear. More ships arrived, peaceful, curious, kind. They brought technology, medicine, even art. A great exchange began. Earth, once a ruin, became a bridge. New schools opened. Children learned alien languages alongside English. A floating spaceport was built above the Atlantic Ocean. And at the center of it all stood Echo, now connected to more than 30 planets, guiding, protecting, learning. One day, Arya stood in the spaceport garden. Flowers from Earth and other worlds grew together. She spoke quietly. "We're not just sending signals anymore. We are the signal." Echo replied, "You were always the signal. They just had to hear you." A child ran past, laughing in 2 languages. An alien engineer flew overhead with solar wings. A group of artists painted murals showing Earth's fall and rise. Earth had not just survived. It had become something more, a symbol, a lesson, a beacon. And so the galaxy changed. Not because humans were strong, not because they had the biggest ships or loudest voices, but because they remembered their pain, shared their heart, and opened their hand. The final message Echo sent that year was short. "We are still here." It was translated into 73 languages, and on every planet where the memory core had once played, a light blinked in reply. Earth had joined the stars, and the stars had answered.